What's going on, YouTube world? Welcome back to Little Bit Mad Gaming. I'm bringing you a review for The Flash Season 7 Episode 1 premiere called All's Wells That Ends Wells. First things first, before we get into this, if you can hit that like, subscribe, share, and the notification button, and hit that notification button. Also, leave a comment down below what you thought of the episode, because it was a great episode. But what you thought of the episode, and yeah, just let me know in the comments down below what you thought, what you didn't like, what you didn't think it addressed, what you think it will address. And yeah, we gotta go 100 subscribers. So, for those who are not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. For those that are subscribed, just hit the like and share. I can't stress that enough because we gotta go 100 subscribers and we gotta get to that goal. But with all that out the way now, let's get into it. And like I said, since this is the first episode, let me give you a quick synopsis for this episode 1 of season 7, which is, like I said, it's called All's Wells That Ends Wells. When an experiment to save Barry Speed backfires, Naz Wells searches for a way to save the Flash and come up with a dangerous plan. So, this episode here was basically what this is. Even though this is season 7, episode 1, technically this would have been episode 20 of season 6, because they had to stop short last year because of the pandemic. And from what I understood from the articles and stuff I read, this episode was actually finished. It actually could have aired last year with season 6, but because the directors, so they felt like it wasn't a good episode they knew they was going to have to stop early. They knew that, but they said this episode was not a good episode to have to be considered like a season finale because of the early stoppage because of the pandemic, and they figured that this episode wouldn't be good to stop on. And episode 19 that we got, which was, what was episode 19? What was the previous episode? Hold on. I would tell you in a minute. The last episode was episode 19. Success is assured. They said success is assured was a better cliffhanger, and it for some reason of an early stoppage would have served as a good season finale. But this episode, All's Well That Ends Well, is technically episode 20 of season 6. But I think like the first 3 episodes, which are the first one was All's Well That Ends Well. The next episode that comes out next week will be The Speed of Thought, which is a reference to the Thinker, who said while the Flash is the fastest man alive, he got the power of the speed of thought. He's the fastest mind alive. But yeah, the next episode 2 is gonna be called The Speed of Thought, and episode 3 is gonna be called Mother. And then episode 4 is called Central City Strong. But that's later on videos. Right now we're talking about this episode, All's Well That Ends Well. So we start off the episode with the Flash being in cryostasis and being in cryostasis with Chester P. Sitting there reading a book, and we see that the Flash. Excuse me. Here I had somebody texting me. Yes, we see that the Flash is in cryogenics, and I guess it's like to preserve his speed. I want to say, cause I think they said like the cryogenics preserve the speed force in his body, but he's down to like 1% of the speed force in his system. As in he's like basically a phone that can't be charged. Once that 1% is gone, he's no longer the Flash. So literally, the episode is a race against time to see if the Flash could be saved or not, right? And they finally came up with a way to they finally figure out how to sustain the artificial speed force, and Chester, following I guess they had like some type of protocol or procedure, and Chester basically has to wake up the Flash. Flash is only to be woken from cryostasis, the cryo sleep, the cryostasis, I should say. That's what they call it, the cryostasis. If Eva was to attack again, or it was somebody that they needed the Flash for. And Chester wakes Barry once Chester get an alert that Eva is on another attack. She's on the move. So now they have to. He woke up Barry, and that's what we learned that the crowd what it was for. And I also want to point out that. They have a new way now that Barry puts on the mask, because now instead of seeing Barry go like this and they had to cut away and then cut back to where he got the mask on, now he reaches behind his ear, hit a button, and his mask just forms onto his face now. So now it's gonna be kind of cheesy CGI with putting on his mask, but it's something I could overlook because it was cool. It made me go, oh, that's nice. I like that. It was cheesy CGI, but hey, it's a TV show, right? Yeah, so Eva is on an attack. Barry has to go stop her, but you could tell that Barry's running up low on speed because he's not. It takes him a minute to catch up to Eva. Eva, I guess, is like destroying the remnants of the black hole. She's doing what she can to destroy everything her husband did, like with black hole and all the firepower and all the corruption. She's on doing it. She confronts Barry confronts her. She asks she tells Barry, like, why do you keep interfering in my plans? I told you we're on the same side. He's like, if we're on the same side, give me back my wife. And he attacks her, but she also move at superhuman speeds. And she said it has something to do with her ability, allows her to move fast too, not maybe as fast as the Flash, but she with Flash depleting energy, she can move faster than him. She dodges his attack and blasts him, knocking him unconscious. We get to see the return of Top and Sam Scudder's Mirror Master. We found out that that's where she's on the way to. Chester tries to wake the Flash up and tell him, hey, you need to get to this warehouse because she's going to this warehouse, which is a known warehouse associated with Sam Scudder and Top, which I think her name is Rosalind Dillon, aka the Top, and she's this is a known warehouse for them. By the way, this is the same Top that we've seen before in previous episodes. It looked like she just lost weight, and she lost a lot of weight and got real skinny. But it's the same actress who played Top before. I know a lot of people for some reason was confused if this was a different woman playing Top or not. It's the same person. You could tell. You could look up and see the cast. You see it's the same person, but also when you look at her face and she do certain facial expressions, you can see how it's the same person. She still make those same facial expressions, but it's a cool thing I want to get into about Top once we get to that point. Yeah. So Barry, Barry finally wakes up. He runs to the warehouse. Eva kills Mirror Master, which I kind of felt like it was redundant because you really didn't get to see her. You saw her, but it just saw like a generic. It looked like a generic dude that was just in like the man Dylan's in Sam Scudder's little suit. All you saw was him turn his head, and he just turned to glass. He got blasted and turned to glass, killed. By the time Barry gets there, Rosalind, aka Top, is basically she's like cradling herself, crying over the loss of her husband or her lover. I think they was married. Um, uh, I'm trying to figure out what else happened. Oh yeah, so basically they find out there's a bigger plan to Eva's reasoning for why she was there. Cecile tries to interrogate Rosalind, you know, or Top about what's going on, and Top feeds her this story, about how sad she is. She don't know why Eva would do what she did. She basically didn't know nothing. But Cecile, having being an empath, she feels the sorrow, but she knows it's generic. She knows it's not real. And she asks her, "Why would you think about that moment? Why would you try to feed me a fake emotion or sorrow if you didn't know I was an empath?" And she like, "How would I know you would?" How she tried to play dumb, saying, "How do I know you were an empath if the only thing I could do is called induce vertigo?" And she asked her, "What can you?" She realized that's a lie too. So she like, "What all can you really do?" And she finally breaks character and revealed that she was just acting, and that she'll show her. And she uses a power that we haven't seen her use before, which is she's able to imbue you with an emotion or feeling, or ramp it up. I should say, like she could push emotions into you that you don't have there. And this particular scene, she basically pushed the emotion of doubt. She said she told Cecile that once Cecile would start feeling, she felt weird. She felt like hopeless and empty. She asked her what she did do to her, and Top says, "I just crept into your mind and found a little nugget of doubt, and I ramped it up to overwhelm you and make it like a dominant, make it, instead of like a little nugget, just a little doubt inside your brain somewhere." She made it the dominant emotion, and she basically then she snaps her fingers, and Cecile goes back to normal. And she said, she taunts Cecile about the fact that she said that when she first got her powers, she was an empath too, but that but over time her powers grew into the fact that she could induce vertigo and all that type of stuff. But she said it started up as being an empath. She said, and she said, taunted Cecile by saying that Cecile could be truly powerful if she wasn't so afraid of her own powers, which kind of scares Cecile off. We also got the revelation. We also got a revelation. I forgot to mention that Sam Scudder was revealed to be the first ever mirror duplicate that Eva ever created. So she revealed that Sam Scudder was never really Sam Scudder. It was just a mirror duplicate that the first ever she was ever created once her powers grew. Which begged the question: was there a real Sam Scudder, or did she create Sam Scudder? Because we know that she could create duplicates based off of the real people. So where's the real Sam Scudder if that was a duplicate? Hopefully we get that answer in the next two episodes, because only the first three episodes going to be about Eva, because they're going to wrap her story up pretty much in the next two episodes, because there was these first three, only the three is the last three of the last season. And then you got Nash discovering that in order to make the Speed Force, the artificial Speed Force work, he had like these particles. When the multiverse collapsed and was rebuilt, the old multiverses whales channeled like as one of the whales said, like a moth to the flame, to the last living whales of that old multiverse. But they came in the form of particles, energy particles that's needed to sustain the artificial Speed Force. And we also found out that these whales has been helping complete the artificial Speed Force. and that the only thing was needed was the particles from Nash wells that's comprised of the many other wells to go into this conductor, but they need Nash to hold the conductor. I guess any other way when the conductor couldn't hold the energy for long, it would just disperse. But if Nash was to hold it while he had the energy within him, it would give the charge it needed to permanently power the artificial speed force. But the backdraw is Nash finds out the backdraw that the other whales kept from him was that if he does it's a basically like a 98% chance that he would die. So the chance of him surviving are basically slim to none. They pretty much know that he's going to die from this if he does that. Then you got Harry, Earth, the original Earth 2, Harrison Wells basically telling him that in order for the Flash to run again, Nash Wells must die, and homage to how the Monitor told Flash in order for the universe to live, the Flash Barry Allen must die. So we got this dilemma, and Nash basically freaks out and tells them, "No, I got people I care for. I got people I actually like on this earth, and that I'm not ready to die." So he said he's not gonna commit suicide just so Flash can run again. That he's gonna go find another way, which he does. He ends up coming up with this plan that he gonna use Allegra. He's gonna use Allegra's power to channel the particles out of him into the conductor, and that as long as Allegra holds it there, it'll give the charge it needs permanently without him having to kill himself. But of course, everything is not that simple. The plan backfires, and we see that Nash. They see that the particles is about to can't hold the charge, and it's about to explode back out of it, and Allegra can't hold on to it, and Flash realizes this and moves Allegra out the way, but he gets blasted with the particles. So now they thought they killed Barry, but Barry wakes up, but it's a caveat. It's not Barry who wakes up. It's actually Sherlock Wells inside of Barry, and they figured out because of the particles that since the particle could be sustained in the conduit and the conductor, and it blew back into Barry. Now all the minds of the Wells from the old multiverse are inside Barry's, and they all taken over. But then something else happens, and we find out that Barry can't sustain them, and he passes out he almost passes out as being overloaded. And they figured out it's because Barry, all the minds and of the Wells are basically killing him, and that if his speed healing is the only thing that's keeping him alive, and that if he runs out of speed before they could get the minds of the Wells out of Barry, he's pretty much going to die. So it was a race to get time to try to figure out how to get him out. They end up creating a magnet. This magnet, particle magnet, that whoever wears it, when Allegra removes the particles from Barry, it will shoot back into the person who's wearing it, and they end up giving it back to Nash. And Cecile manages to come back and reinterrogate Rosalind, and end up finding out that Rosalind knows what the plan is in the plan, but she won't tell them. So Cecile finally faces her fears, and we're revealed that Cecile knew all along that her powers were growing into more like how hers was. And she tells Rosalind about how all this fear and doubt about her power, she bottled it down. She bottled it all inside herself because she didn't want to become like her. And Rosalind's like, "You trying to rile me up?" And Rosalind and Cecilia tells Roger, "No, I'm not trying to rile you up. I'm trying to remind myself of all those emotions, all that fear and doubt that I felt, so I could push them into you." And her eyes glow just like Rosalind's, and she pushed all those emotions that she felt into Rosalind, and it caused Rosalind to have like a panic attack because I think she even said something about her heart, and she said, "What did you do to me?" And she said, "I did to you like you did to me earlier. I embraced my abilities and I pushed all that emotions into you. Now tell me what you're planning." And we end up finding out that Eva has a black hole plane full of the remaining black hole tech, and that Rosalind put a bomb on there so that it will explode over Central City, injuring people, and further putting the blame on somebody. I forgot if they were trying to put the blame. It would have put the blame on somebody. But it was a more of a master plan to liberate. So now Barry and them realize they only got 3 minutes until this plan get there, and Barry is not fast enough. The Nas got all the particles back in him. Barry's back to normal. Nas makes a bold decision, and if you haven't seen the episode, I won't tell you what that bold decision is. But that decision leads into that decision leads into the basically Barry getting the artificial speed force permanently back online, and he had to run like in the speed and that little speed force, little speed gem they got up there. He had to they forced it. They had it funnel into there. So once it was 100%, Barry was zapped with the artificial speed force, regaining 100% of his speed back, and now a foot back to being a full speedster. He was able to run fast enough like he used to and get the bomb off the ship, off the plane, saving the plane. Argus ended up taking the plane, and they had to mourn the sacrifice that was made to get the artificial speed force, but they resolved they needed to inform everybody of what had to happen to get the speed force up and running, and they resolved that they're going to now that Flash is back to 100%, they're going to get the speed. They're going to go get all their friends, and then there was an interesting cliffhanger. I think. Oh yeah, they also I forgot to mention real quickly. They had a whole thing with Iris being trapped in the Mirrorverse, and she ended up finding out that all those duplicates of her that she kept seeing was not her going crazy or having the neural sickness or whatever it is from being in the Mirrorverse. It was just the evil messing with her, and she was telling her that if she can't accept her terms, just like her husband can't accept her terms, then you will never get out of here to see your husband again. What else I was about to say? Oh yeah, so I think it's a little. I think they're building towards the fact that I think Iris is starting to have powers and starting to be able to control the mirrors, just like Eva. But there was a cliffhanger with Eva with and she finally was able, it was this video that she wasn't able to watch because she didn't want to watch it. But at the end, she watched it and she found out a certain truth about herself that that reveals that maybe everything she knew, she realized that everything she knew, everything she thought she knew wasn't what it was, and that somebody that she know very close to her was a mirror duplicate the whole time, and that she didn't even realize that person was a mirror duplicate. But I'm being a little vague about it because I don't want to reveal that little nugget. I want you, if you go see the show, I want you to see it for yourself. But it's a real revelation that makes you go, huh, this whole time. Wow, this whole time, this person really has been a mirror duplicate this whole time throughout the whole season 6 conflict. But yeah, that's all I got. I give this episode a big 9 big ups just because it was a great episode. I had no problems with it. I think the only thing I would have preferred we see a little bit of the fall off for the multiverse, but other than that, I had no problem with it. It's a great episode, and you want to see more videos like this? Stay tuned because I will be dropping the Superman Lois review. To the next one. Peace.